Hi, are you wondering if you should buy the Asus Scar 2 or you should go for the next generation, the Scar 3? That's good you ask, and if you're already here, stay to the end of the video because this knowledge can save you from a bad purchase. I received many requests to compare these laptops, so I decided to make this comparison, and to be honest, I was really surprised by the results. As always, in the video description you can find Amazon links for US and UK residents to check the current price and the timestamps to skip to any part of this video. I'm Chris from TechFindsReview.com, and now let's jump into the comparison. Let's start with the design, which has been changed with the new generation. The Scar 3 has the same metal lid with brushed aluminum texture and backlit ROG logo, but on the back you can find extended exhaust section, which makes the laptop slightly bigger. The deck and bottom are made of plastic that feels light but also a little bit flimsy. As same as the previous generation, the Scar 3 has carbon fiber pattern on the deck without moleskin on it this time. On the front and on the sides you can find a large light bar that looks great and makes the laptop look like it's hovering above the ground. The Scar 2 has slightly smaller footprint, it feels more premium to the touch, and in my opinion it looks better. You have the same metal top panel and the ROG logo that you can light up with RGB colors. The rest of the body is made of polycarbonate that feels very solid. On the deck you can find the carbon fiber pattern with moleskin on one half. You can also find a light bar on the front, but it's not that thick and wide as in Scar 3. As I mentioned before, the Scar 2 is slightly smaller, but the weight is about the same for both laptops. I think they both are pretty portable, so carrying any of them every day should not be a problem. Alright, let's take a look inside. The Scar 2 has a good looking and well functional keyboard with long 1.8mm key travel and good spacing. The lighting is divided into 4 zones, and what I like the most about that is that every key has the transparent stroke, so you can see more light coming out of the keyboard. The useful feature that it has is the overstroke technology, which registers the key press before you actually press the key all the way down. You have also 4 additional keys for volume, microphone and control center up. The keyboard in Scar 3 has been changed. Now it has 2mm key travel, the transparent strokes are gone, the 4-zone lighting has been replaced with per key RGB, and it still supports overstroke technology. In 15-inch models the numpad has been moved to the touchpad and you can activate it by touching top right corner. The keyboard in 17-inch models is full size with transparent keystrokes. Above the keyboard you can find the same shortcut keys as in Scar 2, with one more key to swap between fan profiles. The RGB in Scar 3 is absolutely beautiful. The colors are very vivid and sharp, you have a lot of various lighting effects and you can customize every single key the way you want. Unfortunately, in Armoury Crate software I couldn't find an option to customize keyboard, light bar and the logo on the lid. On Asus website you can find this info, but besides few lighting effects, the Armoury Crate seemed to be not updated for Scar 3 customization yet. I tried different apps from Asus to change the lighting, but none of them supported the keyboard in Scar 3. I was able to customize some parts of the keyboard, but the apps were not working properly with the keyboard in this laptop. Another thing is that most of nice effects has been moved for no good reason from Aura tab deeper to the Armoury Crate, so if you want to find them, follow the steps. Hopefully Asus will fix this with the next update and the keyboard customization in Scar 3 will be possible soon. If it comes to touchpad, the Scar 2 uses Windows Precision drivers, so you can take advantage of the gesture controls and the tracking is good. It has smooth surface and 2 dedicated buttons that work well. The touchpad in Scar 3 looks slightly different, but it's the same size. It uses Windows Precision drivers too, so it's got good gestures and tracking. I think the touchpads in both laptops are made of the same materials, so the buttons are okay and the surface is smooth as well. One thing to note is that if the numpad is on, you can't use the touchpad until you turn it off. If it comes to port selection, it looks like a downgrade with the new generation. The Scar 3 is missing SD card slot and mini display port that you can find in Scar 2. If you ask, the USB-C ports in both laptops don't support Thunderbolt 3. In Scar 3 you can find a new feature called Keystone, which is a magnetic NFC chip that you can plug into the slot on the right hand side. It can save your gaming and lighting profiles and also unlock access to the secret shadow drive where you can store your files. Except that it looks nice, I don't find it very useful, so I'd rather have my SD card slot and mini display port back. One of the most hyped features of the Scar 3 is 240Hz display, and I believe it's buttery smooth, but I've got the unit with 1080p, 144Hz, 3ms response time IPS panel, which is not worse at all. Despite it doesn't support G-Sync, it's the smoothest 144Hz display that I've tested, which in combination with powerful hardware allows you to take advantage of the fast refresh rate. And the same applies to the SCAR 2. My guess is that it's equipped with exactly the same 144Hz panel since the specs are identical. The color accuracy in both laptops is pretty much the same and I couldn't see any difference testing both of them. You have also 17-inch models of these laptops, so if you want bigger screen you can check them out. By the way, do you remember the awkward webcam placement in SCAR 2? With the SCAR 3 you're not getting a webcam at all. I'm not sure how about the USA, but I got at least a webcam bundle buying the Asus SCAR 3 in the UK. In terms of sound, there's no winner too. Again, I think that they both come with the same speakers that are great. The sound is outstanding compared to other gaming laptops. There's a lot of bass, mids and highs are just on point, and they are loud enough. Gaming without headphones sounds great. Every shot and every explosion in game sounds full and punchy thanks to strong bass. You can use the sound presets and equalize the sound in Sonic Studio 3 software. Alright, let's quickly mention other configurations of both laptops since you might be interested with other specs according to your needs. I also prepared a list with approximated prices of both laptops, but please note that the prices may vary with time. So in the video description I left Amazon links for US and UK residents to find the configuration that suits you best and check the current price. So if it comes to SCAR 2, you can choose between full-size GTX 1060, 1070 and also RTX 2060 and 2070. It's a good time to get some GTX models now, since because of the RTX update the prices of GTX models dropped down. Nonetheless, the RTX models of SCAR 2 show a good price to performance ratio compared to other gaming laptops. In some countries the SCAR 2 might not be available with GTX 1060 and RTX 2060, but there is a MOBA version of this laptop called Hero 2. It's basically the same laptop, but instead of transparent WSAD keys, it has transparent QWER keys and different pattern instead of Moro on the deck. The SCAR 3 is not available with GTX graphics cards except for GTX 1660 Ti and 1650 in the Asus Strix G that is listed with the SCAR 3 on the Asus website. You can buy the SCAR 3 with full-size RTX 2060 and RTX 2070, but unlike the SCAR 2 that is available with i7-8750H processor only, you can buy the SCAR 3 with 8-core i9-9880H CPU, and for the budget version Strix G there is also i5-9300H available. There is also the Asus Hero 3, which except for few visual changes looks exactly the same as SCAR, but according to the Asus website, the 240Hz display is only available with 15-inch models of Hero. Alright, coming back to the review, let's talk about performance. Unfortunately, I had the SCAR 2 with RTX 2070 and my SCAR 3 came with RTX 2060, so the performance comparison would not be fair. Nonetheless, if you're interested, you can check out my gaming benchmark videos for both laptops. In each video you can see the results of 20 different games tested, so I think that this will clarify a lot of questions about performance. Links to the videos will be in the description. Now, if you would like to upgrade any of these laptops, you need to be very careful because they are not the easiest laptops to upgrade, especially the SCAR 3, which has two hard to access ribbon cables connecting the light bar. I made a quick guide where I'm showing you how to disassemble and upgrade each laptop, so if you're planning to add more RAM, swap out your hard drive or SSD, you can check them out. If it comes to the SCAR 2, it comes with single and dual channel RAM configurations. If you buy it in the USA, you will most likely get the single channel one, but my unit has dual channel since I bought it in the UK. With single channel RAM you have better way to upgrade the memory in the future, but it performs slower than the same amount of RAM in dual channel. So if you want to take full advantage of the performance of any gaming laptop, I recommend you to add one more RAM stick. If it comes to SCAR 3, you will most likely get it with dual channel RAM, but to be 100% sure you can ask the seller before you buy. Okay, so now let's talk about cooling system. I tested both laptops playing demanding games for a long period of time with max fan speed to simulate the way that you will probably use your laptop. If it comes to SCAR 2, I always say that it has one of the best cooling systems out there. There was no thermal and no power limit throttling during my test. The average temperature of the CPU was 82 degrees Celsius and the GPU temperature was 74 degrees. As the new generation, I hoped that the SCAR 3 will have the same or even more efficient cooling, but what I met was a big disappointment. Without undervolting, the average temperature of the CPU was 90 degrees Celsius and the laptop was often exceeding that value. In this test, the thermal throttling was causing significant performance loss. The clock speed was only from 3 to 3.3 GHz. The GPU temperature was okay, hitting 77 degrees. Usually in situations like that I undervolt the processor, so I performed the second test, this time with minus 0.150 volt undervolt applied. The thermal throttling was still there, but now the clock speed was on a decent level of 3.7 GHz. The temperatures were still high, nonetheless the improvement was noticeable since the laptop ran on high 80s and it was not exceeding 90 degrees as often as before. The average CPU temperature was 88 degrees Celsius now, and the temperature of the GPU dropped down to 75 degrees. Worth mentioning is that I've seen reviews of the Scar 3 that didn't run as hot as mine, so I suspect that I just might have got an unit with bad thermal paste application. If it comes to fan noise, I couldn't hear the difference between the Scar 2 and Scar 3. Both laptops are completely quiet on idle and silent mode enabled, and while gaming they get slightly louder than other gaming laptops. As for the battery life, I managed to use Scar 2 for 4.5 up to 5 hours when browsing the web and doing light productivity work. When gaming, battery died after 1.5 hours. The Scar 3 was slightly better. It reached from 5 to 5.5 hours for light work and 1.5 hour for gaming. Alright, it seems to be everything that you need to know to wisely choose one of these laptops, but before we finish, let me share my closing thoughts. So if it comes to the Scar 2, I think that this laptop is for those who are looking for solid performance at low temperatures. It has great cooling system, which is one of the best among 15-inch laptops. The display in Scar is the fastest and smoothest 144Hz panel that I've seen so far. It has good color reproduction, remarkable speakers, and useful keyboard with additional keys. The advantage of Scar 2 is for sure a good price to performance and quality ratio. It's not the cheapest out there, but in my opinion it's worth the price since Asus made no compromises in terms of performance and overall quality of this laptop. Worth mentioning is that the prices of GTX models dropped down, so now it gives you even better bang for your buck. Trying to find the weak sides of this laptop, I have to point out no G-Sync support, no Thunderbolt 3 and awkward webcam placement. On the other hand, we have the Scar 3, which I guess is not what most of us expected from the new generation. It runs hot, customization of the lighting in-app was not ready in time, they decided to remove the webcam and change the mini DisplayPort and SD card slot for pretty much useless keystone. Nonetheless, there are a few good things about it that we can't deny. You can get it with 240Hz display and up to 8-core i9 CPU. The keyboard with 2mm key travel feels good, and beside the app issues, the lighting on this laptop is on another level. It has also outstanding speakers and very smooth 144Hz display with good color accuracy. The battery life has also been slightly improved, and if it comes to the performance, with undervolting it does the job well. However, if I had to choose, I would go for the Scar 2, which is cheaper and in my opinion it offers almost the same kind of experience of using it while keeping the temperatures much lower. And what is your choice? If you know which laptop you're gonna buy now, let us know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, it would be awesome if you consider subscribing TechPints. On my channel you can find detailed laptop reviews, laptop comparisons, gaming benchmarks and more. Now thanks for your time and see you in the next video.